Alright, and welcome back. We're doing another review today. This time it is for some trimmer line. This is for string trimmer line, like, you know, weed whackers. And this is from a company called Cluparis, or yeah, I think that Cluparis is the only way I can think to pronounce that. And this is 0.095 inch twisted line. And let me try to get a super close up. I think that oftentimes you see that trimmer line is just round, but this is twisted line. And not only is it twisted line, how close can I get? If you look at the edge there, the actual edge on the twists are sharpened, and that doesn't always happen, and I'll show you that in a second on another spool. But what we are doing here today is we're going to test this stuff in a couple of different applications, mainly gas and electric. We have two weed whackers here ready to go. Both of them are very strong. One is gas and one is electric. The idea there between the electric ones, the new electric ones have so much torque that it actually might be a little bit different on the test, and I've been curious about that myself. So basically we're going to be putting exactly the same string on both of these and seeing how it reacts. And the idea why you would go with an aftermarket line like this is because oftentimes, if you see here, these both have the string that came with them from the factory. You see this one here has the we gotta go close up. I think that they're both 0.095. I think they're the same thickness, but this one here, this is an example of round line. And the reason why you're not really wanting to use round line is because it's not cutting. If you remember, I showed that the edge is sharpened on the Cluparis line, and this is round, meaning that as it trims, it's really just ripping the top of the grass off. Blunt rip, you know. And then the other weed whacker here came with twisted line, but it is not sharpened twisted line. If you can see there, the edge is dull, so it is also just ripping it off. And so why even make it twisted at all? Well, the idea is that, see, when weed whackers are trimming, these heads spin around, you know, 1,000 miles an hour, and they make all kinds of noise, and the round ones make the most noise. And so sometimes what they were doing originally was they discovered that the twisted line makes less noise, and then they discovered that you can sharpen the line and have reduction in noise and actually get a clean cut. So what we're going to be doing, I want to mention that this came with, let me show you here on the back. It came with a cutter. You can see there, kind of a guide to all the different sizes or what have you, and you just drape it over the blade there and cut your line. And normally it's attached, but I think somewhere in shipping it broke off. It was attached right there. But then there's the beginning of the line, and of course the net holds it all on there so it won't unravel. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding, it's not really going to be a test that we're going to be doing on St. Augustine, because St. Augustine is actually really easy to trim by any kind of line. So we're going to go hunt down and find some bahia grass, hopefully some taller bahia grass, and we are going to do some tests. We're going to start with the stock line that came on it, and then I'm going to restring it out there and then run it with the new line, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing with the electric one to see the difference between the line it came with and the Cluparis twisted sharpened line. And so that'll be next. We're going to find a place to do this and set up the test. Okay, so here we are out at the test area. As you can see, we've got some nice bahia grass here, and it's nice and thick and a good test. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to make 4 strips into this with 2 weed whackers. And this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to turn on the GoPro there, and like the first strip, this is the gas powered one, and we're going to make a strip straight into there, showing what it's doing with the string that came with the trimmer. And so this is the round line that is going to be the first test. I'll turn on the GoPro and make a strip straight into there, and then we'll change out the string in the head and then run another strip with the sharpened twisted Cluparis line. Okay, so on a side note, at the end there, you're going to see two strips over here. This one over here on the left is when the weed whacker was dying on me for some reason. Wasn't quite warmed up. And so this is the real strip for the test here. And so at this point, we will restring it with the Cluparis line and do it again. Okay, so we have it all strung up with the Cluparis line now. Let's see if I can show that. There we go. I think it's focusing. And so we're about to do the test again with that line. Everything in the same place, never took the GoPro off, same angle, and same grass. Let's do it. Okay, so hopefully from the video you could tell that was working much better. Just very smoothly going through there. I even kept going. You can see the longer row is the Cluparis line. But I want to go, what I want to show here, I want to go up close because I want to show you what I'm talking about with it ripping. Here's an area right here. It's going to be hard for me to find this. Okay, so that was with the round line. See, it just rips the top off. And then over here is where we were cutting with the Cluparis line. And you can see sharper cuts. So, I mean, with the lawnmowers, we're always talking about how for the health of the grass, it's better to have sharp blades. But then when we're weed whacking, if you're using round line, you're ripping everything at the edges. But this line actually cuts clean, like a freshly sharpened lawnmower. And that's good. So now we will try to zoom back out, and we will try the electric one. Okay, so here we go with the electric one. And we have the camera mounted the same way. And if you remember, this is the twisted line that is not sharpened. It came with this weed whacker. And we're about to mow this strip right in front of it. So here we go. Okay, so that did pretty good. Electric weed whackers have quite a bit more torque, and so that can be a lot of fun. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen now with the sharpened twisted line in this one. We're going to load it up and do that now. Okay, so now we are all loaded up with the Cluparis line, as you can see there, and we're ready to tackle this at full electric throttle. This should be pretty good. Let's do it. Okay, so yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. Look, I got a little carried away over there. I was having so much fun. So there's no question it's definitely cutting better than the original twisted line that came on there. And I haven't looked up close yet, but let's do that to see, even in this really rough stuff, how well was it cutting that? So yeah, we're in a, well, yeah, still pretty clean cuts. That's kind of amazing. And yeah, I was going into the thicker like stalks over there. They're not saplings, they are weeds, but definitely thick for something like a regular string trimmer. And no question, definitely a better line than what comes with the weed whackers, and it's an option that everybody should consider. Not just commercially, just residentially, it's going to make your weed whacker run much better, especially if you got areas in your property that get overgrown like this. And so that in a nutshell wraps it up. I think that I'll probably do kind of an outro. Maybe we'll tackle that thing. We're going to do it in slow motion, and that will be playing on our way out. But I want to make sure that y'all know that the link to go get you the big roll is in the description, and it'll be in the top pinned comment. And I appreciate y'all watching. All right, thanks a lot for watching. See ya.